Hey, pup, what did we get in the mail today? Yeah? What did we get? So, we got something special in the mail today, and I'm super excited about this because I've been battling with this for a long, long time. Let me show you. Oh, what is it, pup? What do we got? New seat. Actually, I haven't finished opening it yet. Watch your face. All right. So, I have ordered myself the Saddleman Road sofa, the extended reach version, come with the driver's backrest, and I just got it all black. And tomorrow I'm leaving for about a 650 kilometer trip, roughly around 450 miles or so. So I'm going to do a follow-up video on this when I get there to tell you what I thought of it. I've never tried this seat before. It came highly recommended. It was a real big toss-up between this and the Mustang Super Touring Deluxe, but for some reason, a lot of people tended to recommend this one. And for any of you who are watching, I am 6'2", about 189 centimeters for those of you in Canada with me, and punching out the scales at 375 pounds. So we're going to see how quickly I break this in. So I'm trying to be really careful as to how I open this because there is a 30-day return policy. Okay, so starting off, we got the rider's backrest. Nice stitching, very well done. Some little bit of assembly is going to be required, but I love the way it looks. Feels great. Okay, and next up we got the backrest piece, so I'll slip that in later. All right, pulling out the seat. Trying to do this with one hand, so bear with me. But man, doesn't that look fantastic? Now, when I first lifted it up, she's heavy. That is a heavy seat. She's got some weight to her. And that's the rain cover there. Okay. So now that she's out, just gonna look at the part number just to make sure that it matches what it is that I ordered. And that is the case. Anything else I have to learn about this thing? A couple stickers. All right, we are going to remove, rotate, reattach, install. Okay, give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna take these two pieces out. That's one and two. Okay, she's all turned around. And we're gonna get that zip tie off the end. Now before we put her on, just gonna do a little build quality inspection, which I would have expected nothing less. Hey, you tired, eh, pup? Nothing less than the best. Everything looks great. All right, off with the old. Okay, initial thoughts. It looks great, but it does look a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Grandpa Parish. It's bulky, but I regularly take a passenger. My daughter comes with me quite often. So I'm looking forward to it. I love the stitching. Not a huge fan of how the old seat, the blemish marks are shown, but that's something that I can work on buffing out. Now, when it first went on, it felt pretty tight, like it felt like an awkward fit. But once everything's pushed into place and secured, it's all right. Okay, so, God, it's hot out here. Let's give it a sit. I'm gonna try and mount up my phone somehow. My God, do I ever look greasy. I am sweating. So let's get on it. I'm not really dressed for the occasion, but that'll give us an idea. This is my first sit on it. Much narrower in the legs. Much narrower in the legs. My initial thought, I don't actually feel all that further back at all. This is the extended reach one that I ordered. But nope. I'll be honest, I don't feel that further back than stock. Legs are still in the same spot. Try pushing back a bit, but I'm gonna get that backrest installed. So like my first impression is meh, but obviously it has to break in. So I'm gonna let my ass pound around in there for a little bit, do a few miles on it and see what happens. Maybe it'll settle in, but let's get the backrest on, see how it looks. as a whole. And we are installed, and I've got it set right where I like it. So tomorrow morning we're going to pull about 600 kilometers, maybe 550. And the entire trip that we're going to do, ending this week, will be totaling about 1,500 kilometers, give or take about 1,000 miles. And then I'll do another review. I will let you guys know, checking back in a bit. All right, well, Sunday morning, we're off to the races. We'll see how this seat fares out, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Well, for my first impression, she's a stiff one. Taking a little while to break in. So, 500 kilometers down, and I'm at a little bit of a loss as to what to say so far. Soon as I got on the bike, first thing I noticed, you're higher. And I remember watching that in a lot of the review videos that I watched, or hearing that I should say, that a lot of guys were saying that it sits them up a little higher, probably by about an inch, maybe even an inch and a half. I don't know, I could be off. But definitely my windshield used to hit right above the top of my helmet. I put my hand up and I'd start to feel, like no wind, and then it would take right off. Now, right about at the helmet. So if you've got your windshield set exactly where it needs to be, or your handlebars set exactly where they need to be, this is going to make things feel weird for a little bit. So for the pros and cons after the first 500K, and I'm gonna put more mileage on before I actually do a final review. But pros and cons for the first 500K. First 2 hours of the trip, I was like, what did I do? This was a mistake. The second couple hours of the trip, I was like, isn't so bad. Probably nearing around the 5th, 6th hour. And the more you get on and off of it and that, the more you're like, oh, this thing's not too bad, actually. So that was kind of like the progression. Pros, I like that it's narrower on the inner thigh. I did notice, yes, I did sit back a little more. I noticed that there's not as much of a bend in my wrist. Maybe because you're sitting up a little higher, makes you feel a little further back too and that, but I don't know, being the size that I am, I didn't notice a massive difference, but it is there. Not to say that it's not. I was expecting a little bit more. Another pro is I don't have any tailbone pain at all. Did feel quite a bit of numbness down in the gooch, I guess you could say. Junk went numb a couple times. But tailbone felt okay. Let's see what else is there. As far as cons go, I don't really have much. For some reason, it seems to hold heat. Like I don't know what it is about the seat or something, but when it gets hot, do you ever feel the heat? And lastly, it's not an all-day seat so far. Again, I still got to do a bit more mileage and put more time in it, but so far it feels like it's, you're 2.5, 3 hours, get off, stretch your leg a little bit, 2.5, 3 hours or so. Like, you still got to get on and off and take a break once in a while. So it's not just something that you're gonna, at 375 pounds, that you're gonna feel like you can just spend all day in the saddle. That you still need to get out. So if I had to give her a rating out of 10, I don't know how else to review this thing. Right now, at this moment, 500K in, I'd probably say 5 out of 10, if I'm being honest. Well, the only thing left to do is put more mileage on, see how it goes from here. All right, so we are back home. Here's my thoughts. After pushing on a little bit further before I did this final review, roughly another additional 600 miles, totaling about 1,000 miles, give or take 1,400 kilometers. This is what I'll say. It's great. Day one, day two, Okay, day 3, this is pretty good. Day 4, I was like, you catch my drift. After settling in, yes, I do feel further back. Yes, you are up a little bit higher, but sinking it in after a few days of riding, she's broken in, I think. Maybe we'll see after give it a few more miles. But for now, this thing is fantastic. Now my ending overall rating, I don't know, I'll give her like an 8 out of 10. If you don't have one and you're thinking about it, I recommend it. It does, for some reason, hold heat. Like, it just feels hot sometimes. I have no head pipe. I still got my cats. I'm running AMSOIL in it, which apparently runs a few degrees cooler, but that still sometimes feels kind of hot. But other than that, it's a fantastic seat. I have absolutely no complaints anymore. Earlier in the video, I was like, oh, I'm not really sure how this is going to go. But now after this trip that I did, I absolutely love it, and I don't regret the purchase whatsoever. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the review helped you, and hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks, guys.